Have you ever had an experience that genuinely changed you? And I don't just mean by emotion or following a trend. Well, I experienced that at Anthrocon this year in 2026, and I want to share that experience with you and some tips and tricks on how you can apply that to your life. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, I just want to thank you all for 500 subscribers. 500 subscribers is something that I didn't think I would obtain very quickly, and you guys have proven me categorically wrong. I thought that my last video would flop because I had been gone for so long, but I really appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me. So I'm going to keep making you guys videos, and let's just see where this takes us. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the world's biggest furry conventions, Anthrocon. I'm going to talk about my experience and how a bad trip turned into a life-changing trip. Let's get started. Now, this convention didn't have the greatest start, and I'm going to explain why. This would be the first furry convention where I was going to full suit with Iris. You can see him right here. He's pretty hot, right? Like, we can all agree on that? Great. But we had a few issues with his feet paws. I needed to get him sandals. His fursuit paws are pure white. You can see these, they're pure white. This is an indoor foot paw. It has the nice soft design here. You don't want to wear this outside. It's going to get absolutely filthy. And they'd probably get destroyed if you wore these too often outside. And this right here is an example of an outdoor feet paw. Notice how it doesn't have detail under here. This is purely a hard surface that is meant to take the ground. What's the problem, you might ask? This whole surrounding part right here is pure white. Again, not the fursuit maker's fault. This is his character design. What that means is I didn't feel confident taking him to a convention like this and expecting him to stay clean. So what I did is I had commissioned some fursuit sandals and they were too large. So I tried to send them back, and throughout the whole process, they wanted to keep charging me more and more money to ship it back. They charged me $100 to get it out, and then they wanted to charge me another $100 to give it to the person once it arrived at the facility. That didn't work. The sandals are not worth that much, no offense. I decided, I'm not going to do that. I'll just wait for them to come back. It took 3 months. It took 3 months from these leaving me to getting back to me. And in that time, Anthrocon came and it went. So what did I do? Well, I brought these. The ones that I said you shouldn't wear outside, and you really shouldn't. How did it work out? Well, I had a good friend of mine bring some nice cleany plastic stuff to cover this up. It was very sticky, so it didn't fall off or anything. And it kept the fursuit feet very clean. In fact, cleaner than I think they would have if they had sandals. So I just want to give a big thank you to the person who gave me that, because I don't think I would have been able to full suit without you. Unfortunately, this isn't where the issues of my trip had ended. I had flown out to Baltimore, Maryland to meet up with a friend, 4 hours away from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which wasn't a huge deal. We drove there, and then we got to our hotel, and it's not very nice. We had to rebook, so we had spent 4 hours driving, and then our hotel wasn't what we wanted it to be, so we had to rebook our hotel, and by the time we got checked in and had our stuff all settled, we had missed our boat ride. Now, if you don't know what the boat ride is at Anthrocon, it's a nice ferry that a bunch of furries go on. They have one every single day of the convention, and it's an upcharge. It's $25 extra. We had paid for that, and we missed it. So by the end of that whole experience, I had really a lot of doubt, and I had a lot of anxiety. I was really stressed out, and honestly, I didn't want anything more than to just go home. But when you've spent your whole day driving, and then your hotel isn't what you want, and then you miss the first day of the convention, it sucks. And I talked about this in the last video, that when you feel down and you have these emotions of anxiety and you just want to go home, it's okay to have those feelings. But the important part is that you don't let that ruin your vacation. You don't let that ruin your day, because these moments come and they pass. And lingering on them does not help anyone in the situation. So then we move on to the rest of the convention, which ended up being really good actually. One of the first things that stood out to me versus a convention like Denver, which I had attended for the past several years, was how busy it was, which is no surprise. Anthrocon had 20,000 members versus Denver's 4,000, which, by the way, support small cons. I'm not saying don't go to smaller conventions. I am going to say, though, that it did feel like there was a lot more people, and being around so many beautiful people really made me feel beautiful myself. Every convention makes me feel this way, to be honest with you. When you surround yourself with other furries, you don't feel as alone in life. Also, the quality of the panels and the quality of the dancing was through the roof for me. I was very impressed, and honestly, I don't even know how they do it. How do you dance in a full suit and not just die. I don't know how you do that, but I was really impressed. A couple of fun panels I'd like to mention was Furry Game Show, which was hosted by Finn the Panther. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And also, almost all of the concerts at Second Stage were also very beautiful. The singing, the performances, Furry Jury, those were all very fun experiences that made my con experience go much better, and it brought a smile to my face and everyone around me as well. What was really also impressive to me was just how big the dealer's den was. It was like a football field. I'm not even joking. It was absolutely massive in there. There was so much stuff you could buy. It was really quite whimsical, to be honest with you. And I am going to show you a couple of purchases I made because I think that's pretty fun. One of the first things that I had bought was this very cool bag. This is very fun. It's the perfect size for me. It fits my wallet. It fits everything I need into it. I like how it's very subtly furry. It's not like screaming at you, I'm a freaking furry. It's very subtle, and I really appreciate it. I bring this to work every single day. One of the things I had bought before the convention even came around was acrylic badges, and here's one of them. They're really quite beautiful. They're double-sided, so no matter what way they jingle or jangle, you're going to see the character. This one is Spectrum. Here's Iris, and here's Ryzen. Ryzen is a retired persona that I had all the way back in 2020. Even though I don't use him anymore, it is still nice to have a reminder where your beginnings come from. Oh, what's next? What's next? Oh yeah, these, forget you saw those. And then one of the last things I bought that I'd like to show you are these beautiful hoodies by Hyena Agenda. I was wearing this one in the last video. They're very nice looking. They're very nicely detailed. They're really beautiful. I like to wear these at work when I'm doing the truck because I have to be in the fridge. And then here's the second one. They're very gorgeous. I really love them. A lot of times I forget just how talented this community is, and going to dealers' dens really does help me be reminded of just how creative and just how imaginative this fandom is. It's very fun. One of the things that I was looking forward during this convention was the fursuit parade. And since I had a full suit, I was really prepared to go. I got my badge with the sticker on it that said I could go in the parade. I got lucky. And then the fursuit parade got canceled, which was really unfortunate. But what I really appreciated was just how swift they were to making things smooth and replacing what was the fursuit parade with other panels. One of the other things that they did was have the fursuit band, which I assume would have been in the parade, just perform upstairs. And I thought that was really sweet that they got to perform. One of the other fun things we did during the cancellation of the fursuit parade, it's really silly, really niche. I don't even know how to describe exactly why we did it, but we rode an escalator for 45 minutes straight in a conga line. It was beautiful. You should have been there to see it. And that's just part of the point, that just because things don't always go to plan doesn't mean you can't have fun. It doesn't mean you can't engage with the community. It doesn't mean that, oh, the fursuit parade is canceled, I can't have fun. Don't let a disappointment become your life. Let life be what you make it to be. And one of the last things I wanted to talk about was the last panel that I attended. What I was expecting and what I've experienced in the past is that post-con depression panels are just like, oh, here's steps that you can take to feel better. And that's really all it was. They were very surface level. Again, I talked about this in my last video, but here I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into how much that's affected me. Instead of just the basic farewells of a convention, it dove deep into discontentment, deep into what's preventing us from truly being happy, because post-con depression is preventable. It really is. Again, there are moments where you can feel sad. Your temporary emotions are valid. But when you stick with that depression, you stick with the discontentment, that's when your life sort of derails a little bit. One of the things that they had us do during that panel was stand and close our eyes. And they had us imagine where we wanted to be in 1 year, 2 years, and 5 years. And I took it seriously. So did most of the other people in that room. It helped me realize that my discontentment was lying within my personal life. I was pretending to be somebody that I wasn't. I knew who I was deep down, but I hadn't let it surface because of anxiety. Thanks to that panel, I've made progress towards my goals, especially for the first year ones. Specifically, my legal name change process has already started, and I'm very excited about that. Secondly, what you're passionate about. AV. I love doing AV. It's what I want to do as a job, as a career. And it just helped remind me that I can reach that dream if I stop having anxiety about it, if I stop putting it off because, oh, that's too scary, I don't want to touch that, and really lean into what I want to do with my life. Being scared is part of the process, but just because you're scared doesn't mean you shouldn't try. And that really leans into the whole point of this video, which is how Anthrocon changed my perspective, changed my life. I used to think of conventions as an escapism. That's what a lot of people think being a furry is, and to that point, it is escapism to a level. I think it's a great escape from reality. It's a great escape from your job, the stresses of your home life, whatever it might be. It is a great escape from that. But it's more than that. This whole fandom is built upon creativity and love. And I really did feel the love at Anthrocon. Even if it wasn't all directed towards me, I felt the love of the whole community surrounding Anthrocon together. And it changed my perspective. They're about connection. They're about finding what you want in life. And a great way to start with that is figuring out what's in your local area. I can guarantee that your state has at least one furry meetup that you can try to attend. Maybe it's not very often, maybe it's a little too far away, but look into it. At least try. Because by not trying, you're holding yourself back and you're saying, I don't want to try that because it's uncomfortable. And sometimes you gotta get out of your comfort zone to do what you want to do and what's best for your health. Make friends, share stories, connect with people that you wouldn't normally connect with. That's my advice for attending a furry convention. Because whatever is preventing you from doing that, you have to let it go. You have to be able to move on and say, I'm not going to choose being comfortable. I'm not going to choose being sad today. I'm going to move on to greater things. Because the quicker you move on to greater things, the quicker you will find contentment in your life. I really do believe that. So I hope that this helped you out a little bit today. My story of how a rough first day of the convention turned into a life-changing experience in my life. Because I do believe that everyone that watches this video, everyone that attends a furry convention, everyone that goes to a furry meet has their own story that they're trying to develop. And it starts with you making a change. Are you willing to get out of your comfort zone to make a change in your life? I really do believe you have it in you. And I very much look forward to attending my next convention, Denver 2026. Maybe you'll see me there. Don't be afraid to say hi. I'm a friendly little foxo. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm very happy that you came here to listen to my experience, and I hope that it helped you today. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.